بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Before we start, I'd like to make mention, first of all, I'd like to thank the brothers for having me down here. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in good and to minimize our shortcomings. The reason why we talk about this subject is because the main objective is to aid the Muslims to have enough strength to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And often from these couple of days you may see that my answers to the questions may be a little bit long, to try to emphasize the importance of some of these things that are already described in Kitab and Sunnah. And also, I like to make mention, if anyone have the opportunity, I want you to, on your spare time, to listen and to take notes to a very important YouTube video, and that is Cancer, the Forbidden Cure. Cancer, the Forbidden Cure. Because it lets you know, the more you try to live your life Islamically, or trying to take those organic things to aid you in your ailment, the more they put a stop to it, because their main thing is, as long as the pharmaceutical company is around, they're going to make millions of dollars off of you. So anything that gets in that way, they're going to block it. And unfortunately, sometimes when you give medicine away, or you give advice away, that people, they like, it reminds me of the hadith when the Prophet says, لا تعقرن من المعروف شيء ولو أن تلقى أخاهم بوجه طلق أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Do not despise anything, or do not look down anything from charity. Don't say, oh, this is little. Even the meeting with your brother with a smiling face. As it relates to our health, when everybody are going through problems, and you always see this brother in the masjid, when you meet him, he smiles, that'll wake you up. That'll make you feel happy. He's always smiling. I know sometimes you gotta be mad, but he's always smiling. So, even just congregating 5 times a day is healthy for us. So, that which I want you to really benefit from is, don't look down anything about that, because it's going to aid you. But the perception that they put out, you don't need these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, during the times that was less advanced than us, He allowed them to survive, and they had less technology than us. And if I sit here and talk about Yemen is 40 years behind Egypt, and you know how far Egypt is behind us in technology, does it mean anything? It doesn't mean anything for us because the most important thing is our deen. And as long as we have our deen, we always going to be happy. Whether we have a lot of finance or not. So likewise, if you take those things that are organic, it's going to aid you. And it's going to save you money and save you time. So today's chapter, inshallah ta'ala, we'll come back to cupping because as it come back up on the 13th chapter, so we move to the 5th chapter, the treatment with milk. The treatment with milk of camels or camel's milk. What is the benefit of camel's milk? In this hadith that is coming Sahih Bukhari in Kitab al-Tib, that's narrated by Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu. The meaning of the statement, some people were sick and they said, "O Rasulullah, give us shelter and food." And we notice that the Prophet ﷺ is very generous. Anyone asked anything about him, he gave. So when they became healthy, they said, the weather of Medina is not suitable for us. I want you to concentrate on that. The weather in Medina is not suitable for us. So he sent them to Al-Harra with some sheep camels of his and said, drink of their milk. But when they became healthy, they killed the shepherd of the Prophet ﷺ and drove away his camels. The Prophet ﷺ sent some people on their pursuit. Then he got their hands and feet and cut, and their eyes were branded with heated pieces of iron. And I saw one of them licking the earth with his tongue until he died. So the highlighting point for us in this hadith is the weather in Medina is not suitable for us. What did the Prophet instruct them to do? To drink the camel milk. The camel milk is not like other milk. It is warm. Whether you drink it warm or you drink it cold, when it enters your body, it have the warming effect. Meaning it's going to warm your insides, right? Y'all with us? And sometimes we need to reflect on that because Allah Azza wa Jal gave us 4 seasons. So when it's the cold season, if you are suffering from any hotness in your body, the cold seasons wipe it out. And if you are in the warm seasons, then those 2 warm seasons knock out any cold issues that you had in your body. You will have some people, and most of them are a little bit big, not all of them, you will find them, they say, I never wear a coat in the wintertime. So the cold is suitable for him. You with us? So here they said that the weather in Medina is not suitable for us. Meaning it get cold in Medina. So he instructed them to drink the camel milk. So if it's warm, when it enters your body, it acts in warm, the camel milk will be what? It'll be medicine for them. It will warm their bodies. Y'all with us? And this is something when we say someone, when someone, for example, I don't want to get that vivid, but if some fluid come from one's nostrils, people always say, oh, just take ginger. Oh, just take turmeric. It doesn't work like that. Because if it's clear that that's a sign that it's cold in the body, now you will take turmeric or ginger because what? It's warming to the body. Y'all with us? But if it's greenish or yellowish fluid coming from them, you can't tell them to take anything hot because it will do what? Increase it. Y'all with us? You understand? So the milk is warm and it's sweet. So anything that is sweet is a natural pain reliever. Anything that is sweet is a natural pain reliever. And like we were just discussing with our beloved brother on our right about the antibiotics, and he was telling us about the antibiotics. Most of these children that go to the hospital, the first thing they give them antibiotics. And you'll see that the cold or the air infection that they have, it normally comes back. So much with the people with the air infection, they always have to give them operations. But if you do something natural, anything that is sour is a natural antibiotic. And what does the sour do? It prevents you from sweating too much. So let's say in the summertime, you sweating during the day a lot. Or it's not summertime, you sweating during the wintertime a lot. If you lose all of those fluids, you're going to be what? Huh? Dehydrated and thirsty and weak. So whenever you eat, like what the Arabs do, when they eat the rice, they what? Not salt, what they squeezing on this? Lemon. Or you put it on your tea because the lemon what? It prevents it don't prevent all of it, but it prevents the necessary fluids from going out. And this is also, I hate to do it because we have a lot of problems. You may not know, but there's a lot of problems. Some people that are married. I'm sorry, B. Oops. So you may want to put lemon in your diet so your fluids don't come out that fast, or you don't sweat that fast. Y'all with us? So it's sweet, so it's a natural pain reliever. What is the function of camel milk? It supplements, it aids this middle. Whatever organs in here, it aids, it strengthens it. It boosts your energy. And it strengthens your sinews and your bones. Your ligaments and your tendons, it strengthens it. And it strengthens your bones. You know, because the ligaments and stuff got to hold the bones in place. It strengthens that, and it strengthens your bones. Okay? And a side note, I don't know what sinews and stuff like. Okay, let's say, for example, you cannot close your fist. You can't close it. That's an indication you are eating too much sour. That's why you can't close it. Because sour is medicine for your liver, but excessive, it harms the liver, and the liver is responsible for the sinews and everything. So, side note, if you find as though you cannot close your fist, that person is eating something in that diet is too soury, and they need to cut back. Y'all with us? So that's the benefit of camel milk. And the next chapter, to treat with the urine of camel, narrated by Anas, the same hadith that we may mention, but it says that the climate of Medina did not suit some people. So he, the Prophet ﷺ, ordered them to follow his shepherd, in other words, his camels, and drink their milk and their urine. Of course, living in this day in society, you can't really tell anybody to buy camel milk or to buy urine. You just have to know where to go. Why? Because in this society, buying that is going to cut down on their business. And we'll see why. Because camel urine is used for skin disorders. And also dandruff in your hair. And don't think that every time you have danger in your hair is because your hair is dirty. Sometimes you can have danger in your hair because you don't have enough blood. And we'll get to that when we discuss about the chapter of headache. So any skin disorder or abscess or open sores, the urine will cleanse those. Also, the camel urine, it makes the hair shiny, which is the lungs is supposed to do that we spoke about, is responsible for making sure that your whole body get moist. But if your lungs are deficient, you're going to see the dryness of your hair. The camel urine, you put it in there, just a small amount. You don't have to put all of it, a whole jar, just a small amount daily. And you'll see that the hair will grow. Not only grow, it will shine, be shinier, thicker, and also prevents it from falling out. Like for the women that are from the Asian background or the Arab background, one of their problems with that woman, their hair fall out in clumps. Some of the women that are of a darkened complexion, they have problems with their hair growing. So the camel urine is good for them because it makes their hair grow and it makes it thick for them. Whereas the Asian woman and the Arab woman, they don't need theirs to be thick because of the texture of theirs. But from the darker woman, theirs is of a thicker nature. But camel urine will be suitable for them. But of course, you can't force anyone to use it if they don't want to use it. Also, it removes dandruff. And also prevents the hair from falling out, right? And the milk of the camel is good for hepatitis. Also, the urine reduces the swelling of the liver. Also, the urine is good for toothaches. Also, the urine is good for any digestive problem. Also, the urine is good for anyone that has pain in their heart. Pain in their heart, but it's caused by anger. Don't forget that. The urine is good for if you have pain in your heart, but that pain in your heart is due to anger. What did we say about the eggplant? All right, beloved, what's eggplant in Arabic? Well, how you pronounce it? Eggplant in Arabic, the purple. بنفسجي يعني that eggplant is suitable for women because especially women that have the emotions, they don't let them out. They keep them in. When you eat the eggplant, it regulates their emotions. And you'll see that right before the menses of the woman, you'll see they moody. You can't do anything. They snap on you. Or they have a short temper. When you eat that eggplant, it removes it. When you take that caramel urine, it removes it. And also, but I wanted you to focus on the pain in the heart due to anger. Because in the chapter that's coming up shortly, that the woman, her husband died, she was a widow. The Prophet instructed her what she should take. There's another easy form. So if you're not going to take this, is another alternative that the Prophet gave us. Also, we use the urine for eye wash to kill any infection in the eye. All of this Allah gave to especially the people in the Arabian Peninsula and some African countries. These camels, very valuable. It's a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to reflect on their creation. Do you not see how the camels are created? So we should reflect on that. And because of the high levels of potassium in the urine, it protects the scalp from any ulcer. And I know some Muslim women, they have tumors on their brain. And this society, only thing they know is operation. Operation after operation, and after 5 or 6 years, she still is experiencing excruciating headaches. But what is simple than someone cutting open the top of your head? Camel urine. But unfortunately, us as Muslims, we even become turned off about our religion. You give them the hadith, إِذَا أَكَلَ أَحَدَكُمْ فَلَا يَمْسَ يَدْهُ حَتَّى يَلْعَقَهَا أَوْ يُلْعِقَهَا أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. The Prophet, as is narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas, he says, the Prophet says, if any one of you eat, do not wipe your hands unless you lick it or have someone else lick it. First time you tell this to a woman, she, ew, that's nasty. How's it nasty? The Prophet said it. And if you do it, especially for your wife, you will see your wife, or you do it for your wife, you'll be more closer to your wife. So that which comes into the sunnah, it not only purifies our heart, but it brings us together. So a person, rather someone cut them and spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars for something what? For someone cutting them open. But you got camel urine. That's why they don't want you what? Buying camel urine. That's why they don't want you buying camel milk. Why? Because you're talking about billions of dollars you taking out of their pocket. I give you an example. You talk about all of these celebrities, all of these athletes, and they walk around with pink talking about we donating to cancer. All of that money y'all giving up, y'all still don't have no cure for cancer? It's just a rip-off service. Just give it to me. Oh, so-and-so, he got pink on, so all of a sudden a color that was specifically for women now is okay to wear it because this guy's wearing it. Now our beliefs and everything start to change because these people wear it or these people do it. Anyway, camel urine. The next chapter is about black seed that we already know. That is a cure for everything except death. And in general, if you don't know what seeds do, then all seeds, they lubricate the intestines. So if you're always constipated, you can always take seeds because they will help you with constipation. But black seed is not like any other seed. They have found that it relieves pain. And it destroys any type of worms, and you have different types, any types of worms in the intestines. And majority of the children, they suffer from parasites because of their eating habits. We don't give them garlic, which take care of it, and we don't give them black seed on a daily basis. Also, black seed is antibacterial. It destroys any bacteria. And we said it reduces inflammation or pain. Prevents from the damaged cells, or prevents the cells from becoming damaged. Is always useful in reducing the fever. Remember, we talk about they give you antibiotics for your cold, but if you have a stubborn fever for 2 days, you can't use no antibiotics because it keeps the fluids in. If you can't control that fever, and the fever keep going, if you can't bring it down and it keep going up and up and up, and you still taking antibiotics, that antibiotics keep the fever in. After 2 days, if that fever doesn't come down, if you don't treat it properly, that person is going to have a seizure. So we take things that are cooling and bitter to kill the infection and to bring that fever down. And likewise, you can use those things that do that along with black seed, because black seed is excellent in reducing the fever. Remember, we said that the woman, she liked to eat the sheetrock, and she didn't know why. Have you ever imagined, or have you ever read, when you go to the dentist, it asks you, do you like to chew on ice? That's one of the questions. They also ask you, do you like to chew on sheetrock? Why? Why would someone like to chew on ice? Huh? 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 A lot of people, they have two problems. They chew on ice. Huh? Because when they have a bad toothache, they get a fever. Right? But also chewing on ice or chewing, but sheetrock is better, but not this one that's made. I'm talking about the raw one that you can buy, not the chemical one. The real gypsum, you know, the same thing that they use for filling your cavity and making your dentures. That gypsum, right? Anyone that eats excessive spicy things or had bad breath that they cannot remove the odor, they use everything to try to move it, but the odor, you can smell that breath from back there. Gypsum removes it instantly. Y'all with us? But also, if you use that along with black seed, it will aid it. Tawfeeq. Also, black seed, it eases any muscle spasm or cramps. And it's anti-tumor. And it has 19 functions that they have researched. But it's more than that. So anyone that is suffering from a major disease, what do? For example, they suffer from leukemia or a bone cancer, lung cancer, liver cancer. You will make a formula for liver cancer and increase the dosage all of the anti-cancer, herbs that are in there, you will increase the dosage. And also, you will put a high dosage in there for the black seed. As one time, someone they have lung cancer. They ordered medicine from me, and I'm missing everything except 2 major important herbs. So I made the formula up, had it ready because I have to FedEx it. And I went to buy those 2 things I'm missing. So I set all of the bags out. It's like 10 or 15 bags. And when he saw me putting the dosage of those herbs in it, he said, I don't know what they have, but is a deadly disease. So when you put the black seed in it like that, that cancer, that diabetes, all of that, it knocks it out. But that medicine they give us, it increases it. Or create another disease. So black seed, you will use a formula specific for that imbalance, and then you will add a large dosage, about 10 grams of black seed along with that. And as one individual that I treated had brain tumor. And the tumor in the brain as well as the tumor in the lung shrunk. And the doctors want to know, what are you taking? So anyway, the Prophet ﷺ, he instructed that this black seed should be crushed up and it should be placed in the nostril. Putting black seed in the nostril, what organ you think it aids? The lungs. So the next chapter, Bab التلبينة للمريض. The chapter of talbina that is prepared for the patient. A woman, husband had died, so it made her a widow. And she was suffering from grief. So Aisha said that which was recommended for her or the patient was talbina for the sick and for such a person as grieved over a dead person. She used to say, I heard the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, al-talbina gives rest to the heart of the patient and makes it active and relieves some of his sorrow and grief. So she said that she heard the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, it gives what? Rest to the heart. It gives rest to the heart and makes the patient active and relieves some of the grief. Now, y'all with us? Y'all with us? This talbina, it is milk with honey with daqiq or some flour mixed together. Simple. Right? Yes. Simple. No, any type of flour, no problem. But organic is the best, right? Simple, right? So Aisha said the Prophet used to recommend the people for patients or people that are suffering from, grieving over dead people, because it will do what? Give rest to the heart, make the patient active, and relieve some of the grief. It's three things. Y'all with us? There are I came across 20 things why you should take milk. I'm not going to read all 20, but I'm going to read the 20th one that is underneath our discussion. Right? I'm going to read that in detail, but the other ones I'm just going to read it fast. Milk should be taken from chronic bronchitis. Cow milk, cottage cheese, or soya milk. Goat or sheep milk should be taken from chronic cough. Chronic cough. The third thing is chronic dry cough. Number 4, traveler's diarrhea. You should take yogurt. A weak spleen. If you have a weak spleen, you should stay away from dairy products, except camel milk, because it's warm. What is a weak spleen? Sometimes when you smell food, you want to throw up. Like that. A weak spleen is maybe because you have trauma, or you had too many babies, or like that. And the spleen is not able to allow your organs to stay in their place. For example, a woman have too many babies, what happened? Her uterus drops. Or someone have a miscarriage. That's a weak spleen. Always have miscarriages. Or someone used to bump their head against things, or used to hit their head against things. Because of that trauma, it's going to make their spleen is weak. So those people, they should stay away from dairy products, with the exception of camel milk. To the end. So let's get to the 20th one. So the hadith says that the Prophet used to recommend this for the person that is, it will give rest to the heart, it will make them active, and it will take some away their grief. Listen to these symptoms. Pale lips, heart palpitation, their heart is racing, fatigue, weakness, restlessness. What's restlessness? That means you're going to sleep, but you can't sleep because you're thinking. You thinking about this, you think about that, you can't go to sleep. You constantly thinking. You can't go to sleep. You tried everything, you can't go to sleep. Restlessness. So that milk and honey and flour, it will give what? Rest to the heart. If you can't rest, your mind is going to be disturbed. But listen, when we get finished, listen to the cause. And remember, we said reflect. I gave you something else, and I'm saying that they taking that because of that. Reflect back on it. He says, forgetfulness. Easily startled. Someone tap you, you're ready to punch them.
Someone say something, you ready? Like that. Doesn't people to go through that, what they got, bipolar, schizophrenia and all of that? That fits the disorder. But the Prophet gave us something easy. Not all that medication. Not you got to go see a psychologist. He gave us something easy if we only want it. Law's not going to change our condition until we change ourselves. Do we really want it? He says after that, he says what? Frinkling, blinking. They always blink. Sleep disturbance. But what? With many dreams. Y'all with us? Sleep disturbance with many dreams. Taya? Nightmares, depression, and agitated. What is the cause for all of those symptoms, or some of those symptoms, or two of those symptoms, or three of those symptoms? What is the cause? Too much stress that is lingering, meaning it never goes away. It always comes back. Too much stress, lingering, emotional problems, especially sadness and anger that damage the fluids that's going to be in your heart. So that which will take care of it will be goat and sheep milk, or that which is better than that, what the Prophet prescribed, the milk, honey, and flour. But it's best to have the goat and sheep milk with that honey and that flour, and it will go away. Yes.
Where exactly can we purchase camel milk, camel urine, sheep's milk, goat milk?
Oh, goat milk and camel milk, you can get it from the Arab stores. Camel milk, you got to go for the farms. And the urine, you got to ask because they don't put it on the shelves.
I got a question here. It might be, if it's really too far from the topic, maybe you can answer it later.
Okay.
There is a case, I was just told of it. It's on my wife's side.
Yes.
One of her relatives. Since he was very little, he wakes up at night and he walks. And it's been with him for maybe 10 years more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets dangerous. Sometimes his brothers are afraid at night. And as well, he has a lot of bad dreams. So, is there something you think it might contribute towards his cure? Besides, I think he's not really constant in his prayer. I told him that, it does help, must help, generally speaking. But is there something as well more specific into his problem?
Yes.
Solution that you might. You can leave it for later unless it doesn't really change our topic.
Does he, what time does he go to sleep?
I really don't know. I just seen the guy in his sleep in this area, but I don't know him very well. I don't know his problem. All I know that since he was very little, he wakes up.
It's something that's called the sour date seed. This is one of the things that is good for insomnia, but also rests the mind. So also dates, but the red juju dates, the red dates, not only give you energy, but it rests your mind. Yes.
Is it more of a health issue or more of a religious matter? Is it?
That has something to do with it too, but the getting up from the sleep is because he doesn't have enough.
Since he was little, before even prayer was prescribed for him, it's been a habit.
It's probably because of his environment.
Part of it, I guess it is.
Yeah. So I'll give you something. I'll, inshallah, you can take down my number. I'll give you something. I'll give you some details about it. Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Tayyib. The other thing, the next one is, narrated from the Prophet alayhi salatu salam, narrated from Abdullah ibn Abbas, the meaning more or less, that he was cupped and he paid the wages to the one who had cupped him and took the medicine by sniffing it up his nose. So one of the ways that we take medicine is by sniffing. The other one is that if someone does cup into you, then you can give wages or they can charge. There's no harm. And inshallah ta'ala, shortly we'll get into the details of the cupping. The next chapter is to sniff Ud al-Hind or Ud al-Qus. Narrated by Qais bint al-Muhsin. The meaning of this is that I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, treat with Ud al-Hindi, for it is a healing for 7 diseases, and it is to be sniffed by one having throat trouble, and to put into one side of the mouth of the ones that are suffering from an infection in their lung channel. Once I went to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam with my son of mine who will not eat any food. Why? Because these were swollen, always having problems. So chewing is going to make it worse. And the boy passed urine on him, whereupon he asked for some water and sprinkled over the place of urine. The sprinkling of urine over the garment, that means because that boy didn't eat meat, the najis is khafifa. Just like the woman that is dragging her jilbab in the back is najis, but it's khafifa. It's going to purify its own self. So the water, just the sprinkling over the water without washing, it kills that. So this Ud al-Qis or Ud Hindi, it took me 3 years to find it in Yemen. And it's warm when it enters your body, and it's spicy and bitter, the taste. So if you take it, drink it, most people won't be able to because it's bitter. But if you know how like you like the bukhor, you take the oud, break it, the piece of the wood, put it on there, and you have it in your room, and it will get through your nostrils. It will aid you. And we're going to tell you some of the things that you take it for. So it goes to the spleen, the stomach, the lungs, the large intestines, 4 organs. So anyone that's having a stomach problem is going to aid it. And the Prophet already attested to that or said that is good for 7 diseases. It kills. So any lung problem is going to take care of it. And that's already indicated in the hadith because the Prophet said, sniff it. And he sniffed it. Y'all with us? So it moves and it regulates the energy. So any abdominal pain, nausea or vomiting, any nausea, vomiting or abdominal pain, the first thing you want to talk about, either you use honey or you use Ud al-Hindi. And if it's severe, you can increase the black seed. Or you can increase the Ud al-Hindi, because we're going to come to it. Also release pain. For example, when you become angry, the energy stagnant here. Your face become red. Your voice get high. And the energy gets stuck here. So that type of pain that you have because of you are upset, it relieves it. Ud al-Hindi. So we use this for consumptive diseases, dizziness, blood disorders, depressive disease syndromes, like emotional problems. People have emotional problems. We use in this diarrhea, and we increase if they have diarrhea, but they have the diarrhea, but it curls them over. So that indicates what? That pain is what? Excruciating. And whenever you have excruciating pain, the best thing is Ud al-Hindi. The best thing. It knocks it away by Allah's permission quickly. Huh? No, that's what it's called. Y'all with us? It's good for dysentery, abdominal detention, abdominal mass. For example, a lot of women, they eat cold things. Tuna fish, cold cuts, every salad, tuna fish, everything cold, not cooked. So, she's going to have a problem with her menses. And around that time, she's going to get excruciating pain right around here. Why? Because the cold, it can't warm the body up. So you have the fluids piling up on one another, and the blood stagnant, the energy stagnant, and it produces the pain. And if you go to the doctors, oh, you need an operation. But if you have this in cinnamon twigs, not cinnamon bark, cinnamon twigs is going to disperse all of that negative energy that's standing there. It's going to disperse it and warm it up. And the Ud al-Hindi is going to what? Let it flow, because it moves energy. And if it moves energy, energy is the thing that moves blood. Your blood is not going to go unless you have energy in your body. So when you use that, she don't need no operation. I had a case history of it. I have a patient that she have the fibroids. And she went to her doctor, said it's getting big, you got to do something about it. And I gave her medication. When she went back to the doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but it's shrinking. So, I was giving her a tea, but the tea was bitter. They don't like it. So, of course, yeah, it felt good, but, I got that taste. Nah. So she slipped out. She went back to the doctor, and the doctor asked her, what was you doing? Because it shrunk. And now what are you doing? So she said, I was taking this, that. She said, you better resume it. The doctor in the hospital. So she called, her husband called me up. I need some more of that. So it works, but the thing is, most people you have to give it in pill form, the ones that have infections or have these cysts and stuff, because the bitterness is going to dry up the dampness. And you have to have other things in it that's going to move the blood and crush up the extra lumps. Can anyone tell me, just a side note, what food, if you eat, it breaks up a kidney stone? Breaks it up, chop it up. Boom, get out of here. Chicken gizzards. The gizzard, you see how rough it is? When you eat it, that stone, if it's small, chops it up. See ya. Get out of here. Likewise, watermelon. Watermelon, it will do it, but you got to add it with cinnamon. Or you'll add it with a kidney thing that flushes out the kidneys. So, yep. Anyway, so also this treats abdominal mass, constipation, delayed menstrual cycle, and other than that. So my bottom line is that is about 25 things that this thing treats. Where can we get Oud Hindi? Where did it come? Okay, in the hadith, we know that it was during the time of the Prophet, right? But I think its origin is from Yemen. Because many years ago, China had a medical exchange with Yemen. And the Chinese gave them cinnamon, karafa, and zinjabil. And many other things the Chinese gave them. And they gave them frankincense, myrrh, Oud Hindi, and dragon blood. This Oud Hindi, nowadays the Arabs don't know how to use it. The Chinese are famous for using it. They have it in over 300 formulas. Something that the Muslims gave. Because right after that, the guy in that area that was the best doctor went to China, set up an Islamic hospital and taught the people the prophetic medicine. You don't hear you don't hear that now, these days. That's unheard of. So, we are rich in resources. But what? We don't use them. We're not the best, and we're supposed to be the best, because Sheikh Saleh and Fawzan said, because we are lazy. We have everything that is better than the kuffar. Allah says that we are the best of creation, they are the worst of creation, but we tend to look up to them and not look to the Muslims and aid the Muslims, and we aid one another. That's why they can propagate what they want to propagate and say whatever they want to say, because we're not together. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. They are giving us dawah. We're losing our families more than we have families. Inshallah ta'ala, we take a break. Inshallah ta'ala, in the next session for me, we'll go over cupping, the treatment, how many days you need it for 20 different diseases. And then we'll go over the headaches. I'll tell you the places where the headaches can be found, how you can locate the headache. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.